everyone has a chance of racing. This is our debut season. We've just been set up recently, and obviously for those of you that will be watching this retrospectively or live, this is our first production, which is at Spa. You may have guessed looking at this. During the course of this production, this live broadcast, I will be giving you a bit of a rundown of the rules, things that make us different to everybody else you may have watched, or anybody else you may have watched, because our format's a little bit different. For those of you that get the chance to look in our chat, I've already put stuff in there, just to give you a bit of a rundown, but obviously I will be speaking it too, just so you can get that drift, get that idea of what it is you're actually watching here tonight. So we are going to see that, we are going to look at that during the course of this. What we're currently doing is a rapid 5-minute quali, and at the moment you're watching Thunderhead 74, just running around. Obviously try and give you different angles during the course of this broadcast. That's for those of you that do get to watch this live, and for those of you that will watch it retrospectively, maybe even some of the guys that are driving in this, just to have a look back and see what's going on. So we're just trying to give you a bit of a run, looking at different people. This is Mark Woody 1, who is running around in his P20 RWD. I think they're going off what we've seen before. The popular choice of car is this one in its variants. We've got a Honda, basically we've got a Honda, a Nissan and a Judd in this P2. But they seem to be quite a popular car actually. I've driven that myself and it does seem quite decent. But again, you'll notice as we're looking through the guys, you'll notice that there are 7 people listed, but you'll only see 6 on the track. Number 7, who is Matt, is Matty Cake 2010. Who is our founder and our race director. So although you won't be able to hear it, if you're driving in this race, the drivers and the race director are in constant conflab. So anything happens, the race director is also looking around the track. He's got basically the same sort of setup that I've got here, so he'll be able to look around the various people as I'm flicking like this. He certainly knows a lot of the tracks, and he's got a good idea of where people tend to take liberties, for want of better words. So effectively, he will be looking at those basic places to have a good look, just to see exactly who's doing what and where, making sure they are being good guys. More to the point. Be looking at. So effectively, we're just coming down into the last 40 seconds as we're watching. Like we're watching Thunderhead there, are people going to put? Obviously, we've got a time in there from Evans, who you might even know as S. Evans. But he's put the first time in, so obviously. Like I say, effectively what we're looking at here is not a massive qualifying, it's just basically a quick rapid 5-minute shootout, put 1 lap down maybe, you do an out lap and 1 lap, because basically the main thing is over a 10 lap race, it's going to sort itself out. You know, effectively the best driver will probably end up winning race 1, it's usually going to go in that type of format really. In reality, over 10 laps, doesn't really matter if you start 100 yards behind anyone else. Over 10 laps, you're really probably going to hit the front. The idea then being that into race 2, when we apply the success ballast, so if you win race 1, you're going to start at the back of the grid in race 2, which is a 5-lap race. You're also going to start with a little bit of success ballast, so chances are you're going to be starting with, I think it's maximum 75 litres in these cars, so if you win race 1, you're going to start race 2 with 75 litres, and you're going to be at the back of the grid. So the easiest way to look at that is to think about horse racing, except these are iron horses, and they go a bit faster, but the handicap system that they use in horse racing is probably the best way of looking at what we do here. So effectively, you will be carrying a bit of extra weight, a bit of extra ballast, and that is what your success ballast ends up becoming. That's probably the easiest way of putting that there. And we've already got a couple of guys, Brooksy and Sevens, just taking a bit of liberties of poo on that. That is your race director at work, and that is how he will be passing that communication on to myself, which I can then put out here. Obviously, in the meantime, he's passing that on to the drivers just to say, whatever it is you did there, I've got my beadies on you, mate. I can see what you're doing, so try not to do that in the race. So obviously that part is then complete. So again, this is how we get the live communication into the drivers. And that's how it works in reality. So what I'm doing there also is I'm putting things up in the chat. Just so people can see that, if anyone joins us. So that is effectively the qualifying period down and dusted, and obviously the best lap there with 2:06 was done by Brooksy 044, with Thunderhead not far behind him with a 2:10, Subaru STI Ryan with 2:13, Mark Werty just slightly behind that at 2:14, Sevens putting in a 2:24, with Ben choosing not to put down a time effectively, starting at the back of the grid. That could be lulling everybody into a false sense of security, or it might have been a case of he just didn't get a chance to do a proper lap. Maybe it was a reconnaissance mission for him, but we'll soon find out. We'll know enough once the race gets underway, which it will do very shortly. Obviously, there is that 2-minute period where you've got everyone on the grid. That's that 2 minutes time period where everybody just gets to do last minute bits of setting up and things like that. But obviously fuel, etc, 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 people may just decide to think, well, okay, let's just see what we're going to do there. So obviously from the start, I'm going to go trackside. At the moment we're looking at our pole sitter Brooksy. I'm just going to sit at the back, and at the moment you can see whizzing around is if you can't see that on your picture, that's obviously Matt, who will not be in the race. He will be our race director. So I'm going to come off that. I'm going to come off that picture. Actually, it doesn't matter where I go, we're still seeing him. So again, 10 laps is what we're going to be looking at. So again, trackside as we get ready to rock and roll. So for the inaugural race, away we go. And we've got 5 that have started. We've got Ben, who hasn't got underway, but so Brooksy takes the lead initially. He gets a good start off and in, rocking up into our Rouge with Thunderhead in behind him. There's Evans and Subaru ST1 Ryan. And Mayo got a not quite sure what happened there. He obviously had a bit of an issue there, so he's starting about 17 seconds down on everybody. Just as we watch Brooksy coming around, just see Thunderhead with there's Evans down behind him. What's happened? Have we lost? We lost Brooksy there. What's happening there to Brooksy? Or has he cut a corner and been told to take a... Basically, I think he took a penalty there. That's what I'm thinking has happened there. It's the only explanation I can think of for the moment. I'm sure I'll get something relayed to me pretty soon. Or did I miss something? I was trying to look at the replays as well, but I didn't see that either. We can certainly wait and see if I get any further communication. I haven't had anything as yet, but I'll soon find out. So again, yeah, racing incidents so far, just to relay those back in. Just to give some idea on that. But I certainly think there was that there. So at the moment we've got Sevens in the 50 car is currently leading by 1.6 seconds from Subaru STI Ryan, because I think Thunderhead went pretty wide there. Ooh, what's happened there? Oh no! We've just had absolute carnage. There's the three of them. I think, obviously, Subaru STI Ryan just flew into the back of Thunderhead. I think Thunderhead lost something there. So we had the three cars there who definitely, that's one definite race incident there. Again, I'm trying to get the benefit of the replay because I'm getting the stream coming in a few seconds behind what I'm seeing in live time. It just looks like we've got one car sitting there, and yeah, number 2 into 1. Yeah, it's I think that's pretty much a race incident, but it certainly looked a little bit naughty. But yeah, I think we got Sevens, who is definitely got massive damage by the look of it. And I think he's had to go straight back into the pitch, but he obviously had an issue because he was just, I think he was just stood. We might have to look at that after, but that could be one thing that maybe gets looked at after the race. But certainly from what I could see, it just looked prone in the middle of the track there. I don't think there was anything that could be done, in all fairness. But in the meantime, we've got Mark Woody, who finds himself in the lead. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he'd brushed against the wall. Yeah. Which I think basically left him well and truly prone in the middle, and I don't think he could be avoided there, unfortunately. That's an unfortunate race incident, which has happened into the first lap, at the end of the first lap, or the end of the second lap into the 10-lap race. But again, like I say, the 3 races per night all is not lost, even if everything goes wrong in race number 2. There's still race 3, so there's still something that can be gained out of the evening. In the meantime, we've got Mark Quirty, who's got a job on his hands, trying to keep Brooksy at bay. I think he run quite wide on that. I don't know whether that's something that he's going to be allowed to do, but he certainly went wide. In the meantime, Nails managed to get himself up into 3rd. Subaru Ryan is in a car which looks, well, to all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like a car, does it? It looks like an Airfix model kit, no offence to him, but it's looking a bit battered, so I think he's probably going to try his level best to fight his way round to the pits, which is, I mean, unfortunately for him, it wasn't a safety car incident. Yeah, I don't think he can control that very well. He'll do really well to get back round to the pits and finish. But credit to him for making that effort. But it might be it might be a case of there's certainly going to be yellow flags, I think, being made. Other people being made aware of it, because he's really struggling there. He's obviously got massive suspension damage. I'm just keeping an eye on him for the minute. In all fairness, he's a really tough one for him, but credit where credit's due. He's definitely making every effort to try and continue in the race, to try and complete the race. And obviously he was letting other guys go past there as best he can, but obviously, hopefully they're aware of the fact. I'm sure that Matt, the race director, will be making everyone aware that at the moment he's struggling like hell. Obviously Thunderhead has also gone into the pits. He's decided to try and go past his pit crew. Not a good idea. It's basically best if you stop for them, otherwise things happen. We can't all be Mr. Raikkonen, can we? We don't all want to kill our pit crew. Well, some people want to, but so I would imagine he might be in the pits for a little while, but I would imagine, put it this way, if there was an endurance trophy going out tonight for perseverance, I think it's got to go to this man, because he's obviously having major issues in trying to keep this car actually going in a straight line, or actually going at all. He's fighting his way back to the pits, bless him. He had pretty much most of the lap in which to do so, and as you can see, it's a real struggle. So kudos there. If you watch this after, Ryan, kudos, mate, for getting your car back into the pits. So at the moment we've got two guys in the pits who are probably going to be in there for a while. But again, like I say, that's what I call dedication. Somebody who properly does it, who races. Unfortunately for him, this may all be an incident. There you go. As soon as he gets there, the car looks much better, doesn't it? I only wish that had happened to my car if I took it into a garage. Chance to be a fine thing. In the meantime, let's get out on track then. So we got Mark Verdi, who must be at the moment thinking this is a pretty damn good start. I'm 4 laps in. I've got a 2-second lead over Brooksy 044, who himself has got a 1.5 second lead over Mail 1. I think special mention goes out to Ben, who is, I think, fair to say, our youngest driver. I actually found out he's 13. In all fairness to him, I think he's only young. Forgive me if I got that wrong, but I think he's only young. And as Mr. Evans is only young, around about 13. I'm actually 20 days older than Mr. Evans' dad, which makes me feel brilliant. I thought his name was to do with his birth, but it's not, it's his father's, so that makes me feel brilliant, because I'm 50. For those of you that don't know, you do now. I'm 50 years old, I am bullseye, as we have a man out of the pits. Thunderhead is actually out of the pits. Well done to that man. But obviously he's got a fair bit of catching up to do on that one. The thing that I will say, just while we're on the subject of crashes and things like that, obviously in the case of certain crashes there may be safety cars brought out and so forth. Obviously if that were to happen, then that communication would come through to me. I would obviously let you guys be aware of it. Is he still having problems, or is it just because he's come out with fresh tyres? It might be fresh tyres there that's giving him a problem. Well, it's nothing other than eventful, is it? Let's be fair. So we started with 6, we're down to 5, unfortunately, due to humongous damage. But obviously there were 2 other guys who had pretty bad damage as well, and of course that was just after the pits. It was basically on the outside of the pit wall, so that basically gave them 97% of a lap to try and continue with a car that's well and truly fudged, for want of better words. And I think Ryan's in there for a 2-week holiday. Not wishing to make mirth out of somebody's misfortune. Would I do that? No, of course I wouldn't. In the meantime, let's go to some action because there is some going on here. Apart from damage, we're going to jump. We've got the 3 guys all together. This is awesome. This is awesome. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to get at the back with male 1 because that gives us a pretty good view. Yeah. Looking ahead at Brooksy and Mark. So we're coming up to the halfway point. Mark's overshot, has he? No, he's just held it enough. So we're at the halfway point. We're 5 laps in. Whether Mail missed a gear there or something, he missed something. Because he's too pulled away from him, or it might just be the cars. Brooksy's pushed it up a bit too far. Took a bit of a spin there, but look at the acceleration. He's certainly got acceleration built into this setup in this car. But that's something that I know he does quite a lot, having raced with him before. He certainly manages to get humongous acceleration into his setups. Not quite sure how he does it. I wish he'd tell me, but I'm sure he won't. Anyway, in the meantime, so we're into lap 6. We're into the second half of the race, and you've got the front 3. Brooksy's gone again. He's spun and he's hit the. He must have some damage. He's got to have damage from that. Must have. So that now gives us Mark Worthy who's there holding the lead. He looks as if he's struggling a bit, to be honest, on those tyres. He's certainly struggling a bit into some of these corners. Mail ones right on his tail, and I mean right on his tail. Brooksy's lost a bit of ground, but expected to be making that ground up within the next lap or so. I certainly expect him to. In all fairness to the other guys, at the moment it's not about winning a race, it's about finishing a race in 4th or 5th. As you can see, the gaps there. Maybe a bit unlucky not to have got a safety car for the accident that happened there, but again, that's always one that we can discuss with the race director at some point further on. As much as if they're on the accident, the guys are in the pits for a period of time. As you can see here, obviously Subaru STI Ryan is 5th, and barring a disaster to somebody, he's probably likely to finish 5th. But again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, 10 out of 10 for effort, mate. You deserve everything. So if you're watching this, if you watch this later on, just having a look back at the race, what was good and what was bad, fair kudos for doing that. You certainly got my respect, mate. Same goes for Thunderhead. Again, also caught up in the same thing. And again, kudos for staying out there. Obviously, the damage to S. Evans was obviously way too much. He was a car that actually got hit, I think, by everybody. So I think his damage was somewhat made him extinct as far as this race went. Never mind, 2 more to go. Nothing's over. So again, at the moment, we're looking at Mark Worthy, whose car is looking also not that great. So he's into the pits. Again, so is Brooksy. He's in the pits while his pit crew are deciding. I mean, they're just holding on to the tyres. That guy's pretty strong. He's been holding that tyre up for quite a while. They're pretty heavy. In the meantime, Mayo's staying out. So obviously, for those of you that aren't aware, yes, we do have a pit stop. And again, it's to keep it as real as possible. In reality, you would have a pit stop, wouldn't you? So do we. So again, it's a case of who wants to pit at what time. If you've got a bit of damage, you might think, right, okay, it's worth me doing. It's worth me going into pits now. Or you might decide to leave it till the penultimate lap, which is what our race director Matt tends to do in most of his races. Well, so again, it depends on what you want to do. But just to give a rundown while we're looking at our race leader here, who's got a 34-second lead, 7 laps in. I'm not quite sure how long a pit stop is here, but it's a pretty long pit lane, isn't it? So I think when Mail does pit, I think we'll probably still. I do think we'll be looking at Mark taking the lead back. So now I've said that, I'll probably be wrong. But in the meantime, is he going to pit? I don't know. No, I mean, he's happily trundling away there on lap 7. Mark is 37, losing more time. That car is not the cleverest looking, is it? It's a bit like a bulldog chewing a wasp. If there were awards for aesthetics, that's definitely not going to win it. But that's not what matters. But in the meantime, like I say, looking at Subaru STI Ryan, who I might just call Ryan because I'm lazy. Again, he's trundling along pretty well. He's doing pretty good, in all fairness. And I think we just had a word from the race director there, saying about the crash just below Eau Rouge. He was certainly thinking, safety car was certainly in the thinking there, but because some of the cars got going, he thought they were okay, and to be honest, once he kind of realised that they weren't okay, it was possibly a bit late to call the safety car into it. But hey, you know, these are what happen. These are the things that happen in real time, in real life. You know, it's one of them. Maybe another time it might have been a safety car, but it's again, is hindsight and foresight are wonderful things. Hindsight's the easiest, obviously. But hey, like I say, it is in real life. These are things that happen in real racing. Henceforth, they happen in ours. In the meantime, Mark's gone back into the pits. So hopefully he's going to get that fixed. It depends what they set their pit strategies as accordingly. In the meantime, of course, Mayo's got a 39-second lead over Brooksy 044. And don't discount Brooksy being able to catch up, because Mayo is yet to hit the pits. I know Brooksy did, but he's losing that car a bit. He's losing that car a bit. He is losing that car a little bit. So he's struggling a tad to keep it going. But hopefully to him, mind. But we can see what's happening there. And I've got a guest with me. I got Jeff. Hi, Jeff. He's not talking to me. If you can't hear me, I'm commentating on a race, but maybe I didn't set it as private. Maybe I should have. Hey, but that's all right. I don't mind having a decent guest who knows about racing. Can even join us for a race. So anyway, lap 8 of 10. We're looking at Brooksy 044, who's brought that timing down to like 34 seconds over Mayo 1. Who's into 9 of 10. So unless I'm blind and I didn't see him pit in, he's got to be pitting in at the end of this race. At the end of this lap even. So effectively, he's got to be going in there. Is a 36.2 second gap enough? Can that mean he still comes out in a lead? I don't think so. That's my guess on that. I'm thinking he won't be. In the meantime, in 5th place, he's on lap 6, is Subaru STI Ryan. I said I'd just call Ryan, but hey. In a very nice sky blue and white car, which is obviously the best colours on the planet, but I would say that, wouldn't I? And in 4th place, again, is Thunderhead, who is the second of the 3 that were involved in the little collection of metal at the base of Eau Rouge, but hopefully they'll be hoping for better next time round. The next 2 races will be 5 laps apiece. and we'll be on reverse grids. So at least there's something to look forward to there for Mr. Evans and for Ryan and for Thunderhead. They'll be the front three on the next race. So like I say, all is not lost. Even if you have a bit of disaster in race 1, there's always something else to pull up. Right, so I'm looking, Mayo must have gone into pits then, because he's already passed, he's into lap 10. Let's have a look. So obviously, just to give you a rundown, license system is off, thankfully for the ones that crashed. Obviously, we're not default setup. Full assists are allowed, damage is full, mechanical failures are on, track limits are off, because obviously we've got a race director, as you currently know. Pit lane penalties are on, tyre wear is accelerated, and fuel is obviously being used. And obviously we do wait for race ready input. There is no ghosting, so if your car's in the middle of the track, you've got to swerve to avoid it. In terms of weather, they'll be applied on lobby setup by the host at random. He'll normally tend to pick something sensible, which might have been the real world weather around that area today or yesterday or recently. And we won't be getting snow in July or anything silly like that, as you do get in some races. In the meantime, looks like a good debut start for Male 1, who's going to be piling forward here and taking the checkered flag, barring an absolute disaster, which I think he's going to be doing. Well, I'm not a betting man, but I certainly think I'd be putting my money on him. I think there's every chance that he could win this. I'm not going to. He's not going to do a Devon lock, is he? Because if I put this up, you can see where he is. And again, what you can also see is how much fuel he's got left. I could have put that up earlier, couldn't I? Never mind. We'll put it up for the next two. So he's got 5 litres left. He's got plenty enough to keep himself going. So again, just having a look through. That's a pretty solid run. Subaru Ryan's just had a bit of a spin there. He might have had some damage again. I can't tell from here, but it doesn't sound that clever, and it doesn't look that clever. So I reckon he's got suspension damage again. Not been his day. Well, not in race 1 anyway. But let's bring ourselves back just in time to take the checkered flag. Our winner, Male 1. Well done. Congratulations to him. That is a good start for him. He's going to be at the back of the grid for the next one. Is he going to do some donuts? And a win's not a win without donuts, is it? Can I have extra sugar on mine, please, because I'm diabetic? That's congratulations all told there. And just as we watch Brooksy 044, who's had an eventful race, he's had more spins than a waltzer, I think, than he would like. And I'm sure he will also do something donutty. But yeah, what we'll have a look at, obviously, just to give an update, the crash at Eau Rouge will have an investigation after tonight's round. Sometimes these things have to be looked at again. You haven't got the time in race, and sometimes we just need to have a look and just see exactly what happened there. So that'll be looked into by the race director, and obviously a decision will be made. There may be a case of it might not need a decision, it might be a race incident, or from what I'm led to believe anyway, S. Evans actually hit the pit wall and gave himself massive damage. I don't think he could move the car. Obviously the other cars came around, they might have thought they could ghost past him. There is no ghosting, they ploughed into him. So, bit of a disaster. In real time it was pretty quick to watch, it was a bit tough to see. But that'll be looked at later. But for the moment, we have Male 1, congratulations for a maiden win. With Brooksy 044 taking a second place. Mark Quirty led for quite a period of time, having to settle for third place, but a place on a podium no less. Again, kudos to these two guys. Thunderhead coming in fourth, and Subaru Ryan in fifth, who's, let's say, had an interesting race. Is that fair to say? Interesting, definitely. So there's your result. Race number 1. Unlike Formula 1, it certainly wasn't boring, was it? Fastest lap. Male did a 2:12, Brooksy did a 2:10. Thunderhead had the fastest lap, 2:10.1. So, you know, in all fairness, there wasn't a lot in there. You can't give S. Evans' lap anything much off that, because in all fairness, he only got a chance to do one. So there's not a massive change in the timings here for these people, to be fair to them. So could make for an interesting race too, with the ballast here, the success ballast here. So obviously in race 2, S. Evans or Sevens will be the leader. He will be your pole sitter. Subaru STI Ryan will be in second place. Thunderhead in third. Mark Quiddy in fourth. Brooksy fifth. And Mail will sit at the back for race number 2, which will be a 5-lap race. The next 2 races are sprint races, are short races, 2 5-lappers. But like I say, that was rather more eventful than I think we'd like. But obviously we can look into that after and see exactly what happened. Like I say, I had the benefit of looking at something a few seconds later, but it was happened rather quickly, didn't it? Let's be fair. So in the meantime, we're getting ready for race number 2. Everyone's back in there for race number 2. So in terms of, at the moment, there'll just be a little bit of a delay, if you like, while the race director will be looking at how much fuel goes to each person. Obviously, the success ballast will go to Mail. He will have the most fuel, and the whole idea of this is obviously to balance things out. It's if you thump away in race 1, you'll get handicapped a little bit into race 2, as will the second place, third place, and the idea is to concertina everything up to try and create closer racing and avoiding crashes, that is, as well. But obviously, if everybody stays on track and doesn't say hello to the wall at 100 mile an hour, then hopefully what you end up is with close racing, which is actually more fun for those watching for a start, because you've got a bit more action going on. And trust me when I say it's ultimately more interesting to racing. There's nothing worse than being in a race where you just don't see another car. It's great fun if you're there battling away with other people. As long as it's good and clean, it's really good fun. So like I say, these next 2 races, there'll be 5-lap races, 2 5-lap sprint races, again with reverse grid. So this is a reverse grid from race 1. Whatever the final positions are in this race will be reversed for race number 3. So effectively, let's have a look there. So we've got everybody in, and as you can see on that, you can see we're 5 laps. There isn't a mandatory pit stop. That's why Mail didn't pit. So effectively, like I say, 5-lap sprint race. It's my money's on Brooksy on this one, if he can keep his car stable. But you never know. There's not that massive a difference between the lap times. Like I say, if we take Sevens' lap time out of that, because in all fairness to him, he met an untimely end, there was probably about 3 seconds between the majority of the drivers there, so not an awful lot in that. So just making the final adjustments, making sure everything is proper and correct, people have got the correct fuel, etc, etc, ready to start the race with. And then obviously we can have a little look at that when they're on the grid, because we can have a look at the speedos and we can see how much fuel they've got in, can't we? That's something we can check out on, just to make sure of. So we should be all ready for that one. So obviously I can see that the race director is telling various people how much fuel to be putting in, making sure that they've got making sure they got the right stuff in there. So hopefully then we're good to go, and we are good to go. So like I say, no qualifying, it's a reverse grid. So effectively we'll just be waiting for this. We'll be just waiting for this, and then just wait for them all to line up, and then we should be good to go at that point then. Right, just waiting for that loading, which it is just doing right now. Which is what we're just waiting for. So here we are on the grid, as you can see. So again, we'll just be waiting for positions on here. That's what we'll be looking for on here. So again, the race director will be telling him what positions to get into. He will be giving names to obviously say, right, this person first, this person second, etc., etc. Just so they can see exactly. So we'll just wait for them there. So here we go, we're getting ready to go, or people just make their last minute parts. Meatbug, okay, right, okay. So we got the wonderful, unfortunately with Project Cars, we have this wonderful bug that sometimes comes in, which means that nobody can hear the race director, which is not really great. So we can see anyway here, we can see that Brooksy has got 65 litres of fuel. Subaru Ryan's got 35. Mail's got 45. So, as Evans has got 30.8, so he can put in what he wants. Mark has got 55. And Thunderhead's got 45. So we can see Matt's car bouncing around all over the place, and now it's disappeared. So we're ready to go. This is race 2. So obviously they're just going to get into formation. They will get into the right positions. That's why nobody's whizzing away like crazy. So we will just wait. Let's keep it clean, guys. I know you're all close together, but let's keep it tidy. They're just there doing a little swerves from side to side to keep everything going. As they just come up to Eau Rouge there. Yeah, I'm not sure. We lost Mail there. I'm not sure what happened to him. We've only got 5 cars. What happened to Mail? Where did he go? Winning the first race. Seen that. Well, that's okay. He's saying it disqualified him for some reason. I think what happened is I think it ran out of time. That's what I think happened there. That is what I think happened. Are we going for a restart? Yeah, I think a restart. I think a restart is the order of the day there. I'll wait for the just for confirmation of the race director, but yeah, we're going for a restart now. Again, this is where we can do this sort of thing, because you've got a human in charge of things. So basically what you'll see is all the guys just leaving the session to go for a restart because for some reason it decided to kick Mail out. So he'll be happy. And again, like I say, because we put a human element into this, this is where we can do that. Yeah, basically it just seemed to be DQ'd for some unknown reason, unless he didn't go ready on the thing, but I didn't see what that was. That was odd. So what will happen is obviously they will be doing a restart onto this. So what we will need to do, obviously there is nobody in this lobby is no more, so we will just have to stop production just for about a minute or so whilst a new lobby is created, and once that is created we shall be back and running, ready to go for race number 2. So stick with us while you watch these adverts. No, there aren't really any adverts, I'm lying, but if this was Sky you'd be getting loads of adverts.